Okay, we're back and we'll wrap it up. And I think this is so interesting. We're going to do another interview with you at a later date. But I think this is so fascinating. I want to get it up on the TV or the internet or whatever it is, so people can begin to process these bits of information.
Yeah. Well, okay. What I wanted to say was that I was really, when I heard candidate Donald Trump outline this economic program at a speech to the Detroit Economic Club in June 2016, regardless of his personality or his manner or whatever objections anyone may have to his character, the economic program he outlined made perfect sense to me. And it was something that I had advised in my consulting practice as well to companies, which is do your manufacturing in the United States where the most productive labor force is. And so when Trump became president, he proceeded to implement exactly what he had said. And a lot of economists were surprised, but I'm not I'm a sociologist, not an economist, so I wasn't surprised to see that it had, very quick results. And you could see it in the data that there was, that unemployment went to a record low, that prosperity was doing fantastically well. By every measure, American companies were doing very, very well. Workers were doing well. You had people who were, being workers, people at the lower end or the middle end of the wage spectrum were doing well for the first time in their lives. And it was a really, really very positive time up through December 2019, January 2020, February, March. And I thought, gee, this new SARS-CoV virus from Wuhan, China, this is really coming at a very suspicious time, I thought at the time. And of course, I didn't have any evidence, but I thought, gee, here it is coming from China, coming from Wuhan, China. And you had the Communist Party in China, who doesn't like the fact that there's finally an American president who's bargaining very hard with them over access to American grain and because they need that in order to feed their people. And the Chinese Communist Party didn't like it. They didn't like being that there was somebody negotiating with them very hard in a business way like Trump was doing. At the same time, the Democratic Party didn't like him either. And I think at some point, again, I don't have any specific evidence, but I think at some point, maybe in November or December 2019, the same thought occurred to people in the Democratic Party of the United States and in the Communist Party of China. And the same thought was, gee, our lives would be a lot better. Our personal lives, not necessarily our countries, but our personal careers would be a lot better if Donald Trump weren't there. So let's figure out what we can do to get rid of him. So I'll end it there. This was only a suspicion on my part in February and March because I didn't have any evidence, but the timing of this, what turned into a global plague, coming at the last possible moment when it would have been possible to dislodge an elected and very successful U.S.
Wait. Okay, now.
Yeah, I was just saying that I thought in February and March of 2020, when this global, what turned into a global plague, appeared out of Wuhan, China, I thought the timing was rather suspicious because there you have two political parties, the Democrat Party of the United States and the Communist Party of China, with a common interest in getting rid of President Trump. And what better way to do it? So I can't say for sure that there was any coordination or conspiracy, but I thought at the time it looked very suspicious. And as more facts emerged that this virus was in fact a bioweapon, despite, Communist Party stories and CDC stories about bats and pangolins and so forth. There were no bats within, 1,500 miles of Wuhan, and pangolins were not sold in the wet market. So that was all a cover story, which disappeared as soon as anybody looked into it. So we know for sure that this was an intentionally engineered bioweapon. We know now, we didn't know at the time. But as more facts emerge, the picture becomes clear. So these are the things that will go into the timeline. They haven't gone in yet because I haven't been able to document them. But as more, this is the point of the timeline. As more facts emerge, and they typically emerge, months or years later, we put them back into the timeline at the actual point when they really occurred, and then the pattern becomes very clear. So, to be continued.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll put a link on the bottom when we do your interview to your timeline. And I want to congratulate you again, and I think it's going to be of great interest to the Gab TV viewers for sure. And there may be other people out there who will be interested as well. And I want to invite you back to do part 2. We'll call this part 1 of the interview. Okay. And I hope everyone will also, when they go to your website, take a look at your prints, the Kamakura print collection, which are very beautiful Japanese prints by an American printmaker in Japan. I thank you for this. I'll let you go to your next appointment, and I will put this up as soon as I can, and hopefully we'll get some interesting responses. And again, it's a timeline of 21st century US political transformation by Peter Miller. And thank you for sharing it with us, and we hope to have you back soon. Okay.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.